on now.
Okay, welcome, gentlemen, to this September 30, 2014 meeting of the Public Swing Authority Board of Directors. Would each of us around the table identify ourselves to the audience and the camera? Starting with Zocco.
Zelko Corinth, Executive Director.
Dave Skirmer. Ken Stevens, member.
Mike Carroll, member.
Kurt Coates.
Jerry Brown, member.
John Carroll-Smith, member.
Tom Gillen?
Mike Shanley, attorney.
Terry Hamill. And we have some guests in the audience. Bill Schreiber, one of our manager staff. And we have some guests, and the guests will be identified by Zocco at the appropriate time when we have a presentation.
And we have a new report from Pal Times, Mayor.
New reporter from the Pal Times. Brian.
Brian's on. It's on.
Oh, yes, Brian's on, excuse me. So this is his first time in this meeting, in these august surroundings. We wish him well. So let's call the meeting to order. We're going to have a presentation as soon as we as soon as we act on the consent agenda. Motions in order to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Smith, Mr. Brown, are there any questions, any requests of information about any aspect of the consent agenda?
I have a couple. Glencore Limited on the accounts receivable. 65,000. Can you just tell me what that is?
Yeah, I'm not Glencore is.
Glencore is one of the aluminum carriers.
Aluminum suppliers, yeah, it needs a current bill.
Okay.
Yeah, Glencore is one of our new suppliers, yes.
And also Goldman Sachs?
Goldman
Yes.
Sachs is one of our new suppliers. And why you see such large amounts, we'll be having record shipments of aluminum. And it's reflected in the next page when you see some of the.
Yeah. Nice.
And as I remind everybody, this is at the end of August.
Okay.
The vote was just then.
So we're a month behind. Zocco's trying to figure out a way to get information in real time for board purposes. But it's going to require some additional computer capability.
3 quickies on accounts payable. CNS Engineers.
That's a contract that the authority allegedly signed that we were working with.
Okay. Onboard payments.
Yeah. There'll be an explanation in this board meeting. It's a liability that somebody encumbered on our behalf. I'll say the former executive director encumbered on behalf.
Okay. We'll probably discuss that.
I did the executive session, I can.
Okay. County of Oswego, 20,000.
That's all taken care of. That's something they can work that we did out here.
Okay, and last but not least, going down in the S's, the Shanley Law Offices.
I would not pay him a dime.
Yeah, I'm not.
I think we're still doing it. We're gonna get a good one.
That's all I got.
But one of the things I do want to, yeah, I do want to point out that if you look at our balance sheet and you compare our balance sheet to last year's balance sheet, it's a healthier balance sheet, and a lot of that has to do with staff. The little lady that has broken legs back there, and she really makes an effort in collecting. And if you look at it, last year we were at having $500,000 into the bank. This year we're close to $1 million.
Okay.
So there's a large difference there. There's also a large difference when it comes to current assets. It's just different management style, different approach by staff. And we're more current, we are more forefront with our customers, and as a result, our accounts are in better standing.
I would point out one additional item that's well worth noting. If you look at the net income, for the year up to date, it's $656,000 and change. A year ago, it was $150,493 and change.
I do have one more quick one on the balance sheet, Zocco. The sales tax payable.
We collect sales tax, and we owe some sales tax.
Is it like a pass-through?
Pass-through.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we collected them, and then we have to pay to the state. But overall, it's exciting times. I mean, it's very positive. The balance sheet reflects that.
now that's all I have.
I appreciate it. Any other comments, questions? All in favor of the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's passed unanimously. Now I'd like to have Zelko introduce our guest, because we're going to have a presentation about the project that's going to be on the board for discussion.
And we're very pleased to bring you this particular entity, and I'll introduce them in a minute. Before I introduce them, I do want to point out a certain staff member in the audience who's sitting against the window by the name of the scriber. He has worked tirelessly on this project, and I do want to give him credit for the entire board. He has not given up. There are times that things are really going tough, and he was relentless. There was some stops along the way, and the fellow just did not give up. And as a result, we have a presentation before you today for you to consider. And I do want to give him a lot of credit, and I'll do it publicly and as well as privately. You did a great job on this particular project. And we owe him that. I owe him that. I'm proud of you. With me is a nice Italian name by Catanese, Richard Catanese. He speaks with hands just like I do. And John Day, they're from Mtg, and they're going to walk you through the presentation. The presentation is long, it's complicated, but it's very interesting. It's very interesting from the point of view what it can do for the sport. It's very interesting from the point of view what it can do for the community. And it's some of the latest and the greatest equipment around. And they're very interactive folks, they're very friendly folks, and they can reduce things to basics. Ask them questions, interact with them. Richard Catanese is going to go first.
Thank you, Zelko.
Thank you.
This is a great night because we've been waiting for this for so long. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here tonight to meet some folks that I've known for a while. I used to come up this way quite a bit years ago. I didn't know the mayor and the chairman here, and I'm happy to meet the new mayor. Of course, I ran into my friend Jerry, who he and I were in Cuba together, but we didn't know. So anyway, it's nice to run into. And I also want to echo Zelko in thanking, of course, Zelko and Bill and the staff for a lot of hard work that went into this to bring us to this point. So with that, I'm going to do the shorter part. He does the tough stuff. I do the easy stuff. I do want to tell you that John and I got together about 3 years ago, and we decided that we wanted to do something on the energy front that was somewhat different. And it is really different, and as Zelko said, it's kind of complicated, but John's going to walk you through it, and we will definitely have some answers for you tonight about the way the Port of Oswego is trending with its energy concerns, and how it wants to deal with its energy as we go into the future. And I think we've got some of the answers for you tonight. So as you can see on the first slide, you know, I'm the CEO and chairman of the board of Mtg. John is my president and COO. We work together. John handles most of the field stuff. I handle most of everything else, the administration and all of that. I'll probably interact with some of you as we go along. We've been in business for a long time. John and I have spanned the globe with most of our experience, me mostly in government. I've done some private stuff, but I guess my claim to fame is, Bill would know, would be my the relationships that I've established over the years, both in state and federal government. John's got a completely different kind of background, the IT background. He's worked for some very large projects, like with the New York Police Department, and he's gone all over the country with some of that expertise. I'll let him explain that more. Our business right now is showing projected annual revenues of about $3 million. And it's really snowballed, because at the beginning John and I worked solidly for a year and a half to almost 2 years, putting putting our own money and our own effort into it, and we feel we're at the point now where it's going to start to bear fruit. Hopefully this will be one of the places. Our operational credit facilities in place right now are $10 million, so we've got a tremendous amount of backing. And the $8.8 million in commitment letters is really, needs to be updated. John and I were talking about it today. We have about $50 million in letters of commitment, and we're very, very busy. But we're so very pleased to be here tonight. Just one little anecdotal thing. When we got the letter to apply for this, kind of funny, we looked at each other and we scratched our heads and said, nah, we don't think this is not for us. But then we talked about it a little bit more. We knew one gentleman, Mark Smith, who knew the tag people, and so we decided to submit. And lo and behold, we got selected. So sometimes it works out that way. But again, we're very pleased to be here tonight. John's going to take it from here, and we would like you to be interactive. So questions, please shout it out, and we'll get through this thing. Thank you very much.
Hi everybody, John May. I'm more the technical half of the team here, but please stop me at any time, interrupt me. You know, let's make this as informal as possible. One of the things that I wanted to open up with, which was on the previous screen, is that we're a integration company. An integration company means that we look at a problem and we put together a solution, and we put the solution together based upon technologies that are available. So we're not a solar installer, you know, we don't fall into that category of the 500 people that are now certified by NYSERDA to come and throw some stuff on your roof and do some net metering and things of that nature. We look at a problem in a total different type of perspective. So, as Dick started, we met a few years ago. We enjoy energy. We love where energy's going. Love the marketplace. Everything that's going on in the marketplace. We're a smart energy integrator and the largest organization, the largest electrical services company in the United States. Eaton Corporation, about $25 billion, is our partner on some of the technologies that we're going to be presenting here today. Kind of a nice pat on the back for us that we have a partner of that size. Another partner that we use continuously, and actually I think the port knew them before we probably even did, is Tag Mechanical out of Syracuse. They do a lot of our trade type work. Harris Beach is our law firm that when we get into some corporate structures, as we go on further, you'll see why when we present a little bit more of the solution. And National Standards is a $3 billion energy firm, a fund out of Colorado. They're the ones that have looked at your organization here, given us a commitment letter for your organization here to move forward with a project, and quite a few other organizations that we do. So they're one of the largest energy firms around. We have a team of pretty much all stars, in my opinion. I've spent the past 30 years doing mission critical projects throughout the United States. Mission critical, like the entire PSAP, or the E911 system for the New York City Police Department, New York City Fire Department, FBI, connected all of the carriers. When you used to roam on your phone, remember when you used to roam on your phone and do data roaming? We did the switch out in Washington that connected all of the carriers, so I'm used to going into doing mission critical type of operations. And the way that the energy marketplace is moving right now, I consider it mission critical. Your own infrastructure is mission critical. Some of the people that we have that we continue to work with, Mark Smith. I know some of the people in the room know Mark Smith. He's over in Saudi Arabia right now, working on a project to see how come solar panels lose their efficiency over 125 degrees. Those kind of techie people, those kind of world-class people we bring with us to the project. What's the project? right now, I think everybody realizes there's a big upheaval in energy in the United States. Big transformation in the way that things are being done and what's going to happen with them. Next generation of energy is going to be in distributed energy resources. The miles and miles and miles of transmission wires that you see along the side of the highway, et cetera, are going to start to get replaced, and there's going to be nodes, almost like you have a network node of computers in your office, and the guy next door has another one, and another one, and another one, and they're all connected to the internet. That's exactly what's going to be happening now with energy. I spent part of the afternoon today at SUNY here, going with Audrey Zeibelman, the chair of the PSC. Their focus now is entirely off utilities and onto local generation and local distribution of your own energy. That's where New York is going, that's where the money's going, and it makes a lot of sense for the same reasons that you did use computers over the past 20 years. You used to use a mainframe, everything got pushed down to you. Now what do you have? You have a mainframe right here, and you control it yourself. So a distributed energy resource can be small, it can be a rooftop, it can be a huge solar plant, a 50-acre solar plant if you want. It could be some of the wind farms. Those are all designated as distributed energy resources. What's causing these? Policy drivers, you know, from federal, state, financial incentives from the federal government and the state government, and probably, you know, more almost just as importantly is the technology. I mean, everything's coming down. We've seen probably a 70% decrease in a lot of the components that we put into some of these projects already on what we're doing. So this transformation of the marketplace goes from having your traditional system, which is the one-way push where you had your big, huge coal plant or gas plant, pushing energy down pipes. Those pipes were dumb. They didn't understand what was coming. They didn't understand how it was coming. And that's being transitioned right now into, and you're going to see smart grid, microgrid, a lot of terminology in the papers and for me today as well. All that really means is that when you have your energy infrastructure in place, you have devices that are telling you what's going on. And on this side of the table here, you never had that. You never knew what was going on. It was a dumb infrastructure, and that's what's changing in the marketplace right now. The technology's here to be able to do this. Whether you're planning on electric vehicles or storage, wind, you know, geothermal, all of those distributed energy resources will be tied together on a network, and you'll be able to understand what's going on. So we trademarked this smart energy integration because that's the model that we're working under. What does that mean? We want to go out and we want to enable our clients to be your own producer of energy and consumer of energy. All right? That's a big statement, but you're going to produce your own energy and you're going to consume your own energy. And what we do is put a smart grid solution together that works for you both operationally and financially. What does that consist of? I touched a little bit, you know, solar, wind, biogeneration locations, things of that nature. Natural gas, also in here, clean natural gas, that's real important. Smart grid technology, information technology and components, intelligent devices, smart storage components, and probably something that's really new to the marketplace is public-private partnerships. You hear a lot about that on the news, you read about that in the papers. Well, what we're introducing you today is a true one, is a true public-private partnership, okay, where we both work together and we both make money together. Benefits of our model are, first of all, energy cost savings, because the more you can understand what you're doing, the more you can optimize what you're doing, the more you can save and not use energy, waste energy. Okay, peak shaving and demand responses. When you're understanding when to use energy is extremely, extremely important. Everybody knows that you pay more for it in the afternoon and in the early evening hours. So if you can do certain things to be able to turn that around, you save money. Budget stability, by putting in your own DERs or energy resources, you can understand what your budget's going to be, what the flow of your budget's going to be, how to assess and when to, well, pretty much just understand your budget and know from year to year what you're going to be spending. Energy diversification, by putting in multiple types of distributed energy resources, you're saving yourself from getting clobbered by one particular energy resource that goes through the sky. You know, energy security and surety. Energy security is certainly important on the network when this network gets into place, and energy surety, making sure that you have resiliency and that energy is going to be there for you 24 hours a day whenever a boat comes in. You need it. This is important. One of the things that was stressed today, I'm sorry.
You mentioned cybersecurity. Would you be able to fill the gap and make it 100% of our energy needs in the event of a cybersecurity attack?
Yes.
How would you do it, with
Yes.
solar? Or?
Yes. No. Well, I have various components in here I can show you, but that's basically unplugging from the grid.
I see.
Yeah. So there's actually Sandy money available for unplugging from the grid. No, I don't know the exact amounts right now, but New York is supposed to get like 1.7 billion for things like unplugging from the grid,
Okay.
for security reasons, and certainly a port like this, that would be very important. Profit center, because of the corporate structure that we're introducing here, this can be a profit center. You can generate more than you consume, and you can sell if you want to sell. Laws are now open where you can do that, and of course, all of this brings some job creation and some economic development to the area as well.
We could sell it after running a direct line to each member of the board's house.
We were gonna suggest that.
Yes, yeah, there you go.
Ethically, we can.
There you
I
go.
was gonna say, I have to remind everybody that that's a joke.
Yeah, that's a joke. That's
There
a
you
joke.
go. I wasn't sure what to say, that's why I looked up at the camera.
I'm sorry.
That's what.
It's a great joke though, Ken.
Yeah.
Basically, this is a diagram of what a community focus would be on doing a smart grid. Obviously, you know, it's not the port, but this is again what was being pushed today by Audrey, by the federal government. You have your network, and you control your network, and you know what's going on with your network, and I can't stress that enough. Okay, now POA. We started working here. I guess the RFP came out in February, and we participated in the RFP. We responded to the RFP. We got a qualified respondent letter from Zelco. We introduced. We were instructed to proceed with basically a power purchase agreement back in June. We continue to look for financing for the port here. We continue to put together various different models. Talk to National Grid about interconnections, about net metering, and NYSERDA about prime incentives, and basically did quite a few technical assessments, as Mr. Schreiber can attest to, with regard to utility bills, site visits. Couldn't get me on the roof though, but outside of that, a lot of.
I tried.
He tried. I'm just not a roof guy, you know. Give me lines and go underneath, but I'm not a roof guy, unfortunately. I know I'm blushing. And we put together a lot of analysis of your usage. What is your usage? Just so you know, there's a mistake. There's not supposed to be an H there, okay? But your kilowatt hours that you use in excess of 431,000. That's actually taken from 2014 bills, okay? This year's bills, adjustments to the base utility bills. sat down with Zelko and some members of the staff with regard to what's going to be new this year, what's going to be adding. I guess you saw in the numbers that everything's going very, very well here. Zelko's doing a great job. Well, that also ties into utility bills. You know, you use more electricity. So based upon the conveyors that are going in, the rail warmers, different things that are here that we were able to quantify and actually put into the analysis. Total adjustments would be about 615 megawatts, 615 megawatts, or 614,470 kilowatts. Your demand, which is if everybody plugs in everything at one time and all the conveyors go on at one time, that shoots up through the moon. And actually, an interesting fact from this afternoon is that the state of New York pays almost $2 billion a year to have that excess energy just sitting on the side there. Almost $2 billion a year for that demand. So your demand peak is about 117, which just putting numbers up there for you. The blended rate of all of your energy that you're using here is about 24 cents a kilowatt hour, which is high. That's high. Your current annual energy expenditures, based upon this number, would be 103,000. Your current annual expenditures, based upon this number, would be about 148,000. Continuing along the way you are now. I know nobody likes hockey sticks, but got to put up some projections here. If you take the Department of Energy EIA, and their past 10-year cycle, the average energy increase from year to year was 3.45. If you take the numbers that I just showed you on this page here, the 148, and then every year increase 3.45%, and you grow. I mean, but also you grow. Zelko believes you're going to grow at a rate of at least 10% a year. If you grow at a rate of 10% a year, by 2034, you're going to be at almost $2 million for electric. Fact, just fact.
Rule of 72.
Pardon me?
Rule of 72.
Yeah. There you go, right? Proposed. So what are we proposing? We're proposing a 18 to 24 month development project here. What would that include? That would include starting with a lease purchase, moving into a power purchase agreement. It would include up to 650,000 kilowatts up on your roof. It would include the warehouse repairs, the warehouse roof repairs, I'm sorry, that are needed, I think, in the north section, removal of the skylights, and with the technology that we're putting in, the CHP technology, we're going to be able to take out the boiler that you have downstairs and use the byproduct of creating electricity to actually heat and cool the building. Okay, just as a byproduct. The silent room implementation in the warehouse of that CHP, of this CHP unit. I'll show you what a picture of that looks like. And meter implementations, smart meter implementations in the buildings here, data acquisition and analysis of that, and the metrics for the final configuration. And again, I'll get to that quickly. Energy storage, security and safety measures, project management, and a subsidiary that we've been talking a little bit with Mr. Shanley. I was going to say Mike. I'm used to calling you Mike. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What kind of structural reworking are we talking about as far as the trusses and structural steel that's out there?
Nothing.
Is there any, how much additional weight are we talking about?
No. Well, I mean the loads. I could give you the loads, but nothing that's going to. We've had a structural engineer here to look at the roof, and we're fine with what we're doing. And the solar panels are really not that heavy. That's what's
should
going
have
on the
little
roof.
drawings around here someplace, I would think.
We got all of that.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been, yeah.
Okay.
Early on.
Early on in this, yeah, we did this with TAG, as a matter of fact, TAG. and Ellis Giles, one of the engineers that
So there's no
that was out there.
modification to the steel?
No, not for the roof. I mean, there's modifications that are gonna be done with the piping downstairs. You know, we're gonna tie into the piping for heating. We're going to build the silent room right under Bill Scriber's window there, going into the warehouse to put these units in. Pardon me?
That's why they call it silent.
Yes, we term that as a
Silent
silent
but
room.
shaky?
No, just like your V8 engine. So remember this number again, the 148, and because we don't know the final structure of what we're gonna do here, you know, we're anticipating about $90,000 in costs without some services. We have to add some services on there. So there's a nice delta there of savings that are going to show that you're not spending any more than you're spending currently, right? And this would be the estimated area. This is what the project would cost, and this is the estimated area of savings. We don't. I'm hesitant to give out exact numbers because we don't have exact numbers yet, to be really honest with you. And part of the resolution today is to go forward with Zelco and Bill on putting the rest of the numbers together, basically. What are we talking about doing here? Phase 1 would be the solar array, a partial solar array, basically 1/3 of the projected one. One CHP generator that would go into the warehouse, smart meters, the building upgrade, and the project management. That would take place over the next approximately 6 months. Then, this is the most important piece right here, the data acquisition. You know, you can't figure out where you're going if you don't know where you are. And one of the things we have to do here is to analyze what you're doing. What do your trends look like? You know, when do you use your energy? How much do you use? What kind of spikes do you use? We don't have any of that. As you know, National Grid, NYSEG, they do a really good job of taking your electric bill and making sure you don't understand a word that's in it, right? I mean, we all know that. So what we have to do is, those meters come into our data center and our analytics, and we look at those and look at every single one of your trends. And we'll be able to work and figure out exactly what you need and timing what energy you need. So that's about a 6 month phase, and then based upon what we do here, we go into the final configuration, because we might be off. So we want to take baby steps. We're going to do one little thing at a time, one thing at a time, one thing at a time, until we have a project, you know, that works for you. And exactly what that means, I'm not 100% sure yet. You know, when a boat comes in, you might flip on the generators and use the generators. There's various different components of what to do, and that's what we do in the second phase, so you can have it for the third phase. Components, solar, okay, that's big. Your CHP generator. This is what a smart meter looks like.
John, do you mind explaining to them what the CHP generator does?
Okay.
We may take it for granted.
Okay, I'm sorry. CHP.
I was gonna ask.
Okay.
I was gonna wait till he's done.
A CHP generator is a V8 engine. In this particular case, it's made in Massachusetts. This is a Tecogen unit. What this does is uses natural gas or biogas, methane, whatever digesters. You can have digesters that take carbon products and create gases that feed into this, or you can use natural gas, compressed natural gas, liquid gas. And what this does is run like your car engine does. It spins, and when it spins, it generates electricity. So you're in control of when you're generating your electricity.
So is this an emergency generation system, or is this an integral part of the entire system?
This is an integral part of the entire system. This is not a backup diesel generator that's used for 2 hours and then shut off.
So what
this is
would
used-
you run it on? Would you run it on?
Pure natural gas.
Natural
You're priced
gas.
in natural gas. Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Commissioner, we're talking being off the grid.
I'm sorry?
We're off the grid.
Off the grid totally. And this is one of the components
Right.
that helps us get there.
Yes. Now
Okay.
we have talked also about doing a soybean digester. right? Taking a lot of soybeans that come through here, taking soybeans and actually
Producing
converting
gas.
exactly, producing gas out of soybeans, which could be done, but that's the analytic stage. Okay, that's what that's the type of stuff we have to do in the analytic stage.
Now, in this particular type of contract, are there fixed costs and fluid costs? You're talking about analysis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the answer is yes, but give me 2 more slides and I'll get into that.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. That's okay. No, you're ahead. You're ahead of the game.
How effective is solar gonna be? Solar, how effective will it be?
Define, you mean what's the
With
efficiency of the
climate.
panels?
Yeah, the efficiency of the plant, our climate, the efficiency for the panels.
Well, it's not gonna be as effective as if we were in New Mexico, okay?
That's my question.
But you'll be able to generate out of the 200 kW that you're gonna put on the roof, you'll be able to generate about 50% of that first number of the 413.
Year round?
Pardon me?
Year round?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
How?
not. You know, you have your curves on that. You have your curves daily. You know, you have your curves daily.
How many months a year can't we use a solar system?
You'll be able to generate electricity all through the winter, but the amount that you're going to be able to generate is low because the sun beats on the panels, they absorb, and so you are generating electricity during the winter, but just not as much. Hence the CHP generator.
In this region, on a scale of 10, what would you give it for
Well, I mean,
most efficient operation? 2.5?
Well, what depends on what you mean by, again, the efficiency.
How
A
often?
a panel generates usually, these would be maybe 280 watt panels, okay? So during the winter, maybe 15%, you know, of that, maybe 15%. But you gotta understand that just doesn't stand on its own. You have, you know, the cost of the panel, but you also have the federal incentive that comes in and the state incentive that comes in that knocks the price. On this total package, there's, if we put in everything that we wanted to put in a perfect world, it would probably be about $2.8 million, and out of that, probably 800,000 would be federal state money for solar incentives.
John, let's just step back. On the engineering studies we've had for the last several years, this site is a perfect location for solar. Why? Because we have no obstructions on the site. 2, solar panels degrade in efficiency and amount of they can generate by heat. Because we have almost a current wind up here, they're maximizing their efficiency. So we've had TAG do studies where you actually could do more than 110% efficiency of the panel. No, they don't work at night, but they work not like the old solar panels, just light. They'll work on radiant. So we're maximizing their use by putting them up here because of the non-obstructions and the cooling. That's why he said they're going to Saudi Arabia, because after 125 degrees they drop. Here, they're not going to be at that temperature gradient.
See, renewables, whether it's wind, whether it's solar, whether it's geothermal, solar, they have their ups and downs. You know, and anybody that comes in and tells you that they don't, you know.
I guess my concern is investment versus payout.
Right.
Will it be worth it? So it's.
Yeah.
Is
Well-
there any such thing as a hybrid panel that's both water and solar?
No.
No?
No.
Maybe you could air condition the panels and make them work inside.
No, we know what the panels are going to generate. We know through the NREL, which is a federal agency, we know the amount of radiation that hits every square meter in the United States. So when you say efficiency, I mean, we know what the panel's going to do here. It's going to do more if there's 10 hours of sunlight than it is if there's 7. But we know that, and that's all calculated into the analysis here. You know, we don't use the numbers from New Mexico and say you're going to be generating this much. We use the numbers from here, and that's what I was saying. Out of the 200 kW, you're going to generate about 215,000 kilowatt hours of your solar. Now, when does it come in? and when are you gonna be generating it and when are you gonna be consuming it is the reason for that middle section, okay? To find out when you can use the cheaper energy and when you use more expensive energy. And right now, we don't know what those trends are here, and that's what we have to find out.
But given the commission's questions, they're all gonna have.
I'm sorry.
Given, they're interested in financial terms. Payback, investment versus return.
Well, right now, on that previous slide that I showed you, here, I'm sorry, I went in the wrong direction. We're talking now about $48,000 a year discrepancy.
Savings.
Okay, savings, exactly. Now, will that grow? Could grow.
And that has factored into it, the cost.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
the net to us is a savings of about,
Of about $48,000 a year.
over what we're already paying.
About what you're paying. That's correct. If you want a, core bottom line number. Now, again, that might change when we go further into the analysis. But as of now, that's what our numbers are
These
showing.
numbers are all calculated on the basis of long-term averages, and some years may be better than others, and some years may be less.
Well, correct. Correct. But again, we don't. I keep on going back to the trend. We have to trend and understand what happens when you turn on all of the conveyors, how much you turn on.
Let me make one
the
other
conveyors.
point.
Sure.
The NRG facility out here on the west side of the city, that peaking facility used to be a steam station. They don't even operate it unless there's an extraordinary peak in the cost of power. They can get $1,000 a kilowatt hour. And no, they don't pay you, they don't worry about nickels and dimes. When some of the big companies are screaming for energy, they crank it up and sell it at a very high rate. So, and if we happen to be in the loop when we need energy and everybody needs energy and they're charging high rates, it's gonna hit us too.
It does. I mean, it does, and thank you. Thank you very much.
That plant also operates as a credit for the company that owns
So
it.
we know all about that. Don't get me
Yeah.
started. Nobody's trying to great deal for you.
Don't go there.
Don't go long story.
But it's.
I'm the newest guy.
Can that be stored? Can you store that solar energy anyhow?
Yes,
Yes.
but
There's batteries coming.
yeah. Lithium ion batteries right now, but that's the general idea. The general idea is to understand what you're doing, understand what you could generate, and then use your energy effectively, efficiently, by optimizing it. So if you do have a day where you have a lot of sunlight, there's a project called net metering here in New York, which I don't know if anybody knows about. That's typically what people are putting on their houses right now. So the sun comes out, the meter spins backwards, sun goes in, the meter goes the other way. It's pretty much a dumb system. You're sure you're generating some electricity, but you're not optimizing anything. If you could save that energy and use it the next evening from 5 to 7 o'clock when your rates are going to jump up to 20 cents a kilowatt hour, you'd be in shape for steady. But right now, you can't do that with the normal net metering. With this type of system, that's what we're striving for. We're striving for the ability to optimize, use it when you need it, unplug if you have to, and also sell it back if you can. If you're generating enough to sell it back. Did you have a?
I was gonna say, we can use excess energy to pump water up the other side of the high dam, and then let it generate electricity back, it's coming back down.
That's exactly right. There's people that make ice at night and then put the ice on the roof during the day for cooling systems. They pipe the ice through pipes because it costs 1/3 as much to do it at night than they do during the course of the day. So it's timing. It's timing, and when you have those dumb systems that we talked about way back in the beginning, you're not in control of anything.
John, I just might say,
Sure.
I think John is going through a process here by trying to tell you that there's no magic bullet to any of this stuff. We're going to have to go through a whole process of evaluation. It's going to take time. And there's new things coming out every year, so we will adjust. We want to be with you for a long time, so we'll adjust our program accordingly. And, but the best we got right now is the data that we've been supplied. And I think using the data that's been supplied to us, we've got a good plan to go forward, at least incrementally, to get started.
And there's one other issue that we haven't talked about outside the scope of what we hear. The public image of an energy-intensive facility like the Port of Oswego Authority, maximizing the benefits of solar power can't go unnoticed.
Yeah.
Locally and nationally. Nobody else is doing it.
It's green.
Green, take it away my
Sorry.
bang at the end, but,
Sorry about that.
but,
I haven't seen you for a few days.
but it's net, it's called net zero energy, okay? You're creating, you're not taking any energy off of nature, you're not taking any energy off of the grid, you're neutral. And you could be the first port that I know of, Zucco's shaking his head back there, yeah, that I know of, that could attain that status.
John, does the internal combustion generator, does that produce only the required energy, or does that produce storable energy also during the day?
What's stored is the heat. You can store the heat in the form of water,
Okay.
things like that. But energy really, electricity is not really storable,
Storable on a battery system?
economically storable yet.
Okay.
It is. I mean, you can do it, but it's not economically the right thing to do yet.
So
Okay,
what do
about
we
another
use the
2
heated
years, I
water
think.
for?
About another 2 years
What will we use the heated water for?
for heat. For
Water.
heat, reverse coils, to do air conditioning, things of that nature.
Things of that nature?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could heat all your facilities.
Before you go,
Well,
How
we
big of
are.
a-
You'll have
how
air
big of a
conditioning on the
s-
first floor that you never had before, right? George keeps on telling me.
how big of a solar field is the entire roof of this building? Or how-
It's about one-third. The first phase would be about 1/3. The total that was in the original RFP was about 650, was about 3 times the size of what we're proposing right now. Because again, we want to take baby steps and understand before we just, throw a lot of
So you would
stuff.
start with 1/3 for the building?
But yes, this section, this section here, yeah. And this is the kind of stuff that we monitor with the devices, with those devices. Those would be on your meters here, those would be on your inverters. Sure.
Does all this equipment that's on board, do you guys manage that? Do you come in here physically?
Yes, we're your partner on this.
All right. So you'd actually co-locate right here?
Yes, that's correct. That second phase, what do? We do predictive analysis, okay? Prescriptive analysis, try to figure out what's gonna happen when these things, when certain events occur, what happened in the past as best we can through all of this. So there's a lot of, we're gonna be taking in information from your meters online continuously 24 hours a day. So we will be able to actually sit down with you, go over charts, patterns of what's going on. So this is not a hit or miss type of thing where we think this might happen. We're doing things that are going to be real. Here's your batteries. These are your older battery banks. Basically, that's the only place.
What are the dimensions, just for perspective?
This,
There's some dimensions of this thing.
that's probably 30 feet long.
6-foot rack?
Yeah, so that's a lot of batteries, but the lithium-ion batteries are going down in price. We're talking with Eaton all the time. Their battery manufacturers now from the Asian marketplaces are going to be just producing the battery, not the front end. Data inverters, that's going to be done by people like Eaton and GE. So we work with them on their specifications.
Is that all one unit or is that different?
Oh, they're all different. They're
So it's
all,
all
they're all
separate
different,
units?
they're all.
So they all hold charges individually?
Yes.
and almost-
Is this an actual location, these slides we're looking at?
This one here is, no, this is from, actually from Eaton. This is one of Eaton's
Okay.
slides. But it is an actual location, yeah.
I just wondered the technology trend. I worked for Bell Labs, we used to design
Sure.
data networks, all distributed architecture,
Right.
and it seems like the same thing. And we took off in 20 years from an old-fashioned system to like what we got nowadays. What's your projection for this system? This revolutionizes the
I think over the next 3 years, you're gonna
3
see,
years, really.
yeah, you're gonna see real big differences. And this is the kind of stuff, that I put into NYPD for their PSAP, their E911 backups and stuff of that nature. They've got, rooms and rooms and rooms of this, but that's the only technology that is available at the time, When they say battery storage, they mean battery storage, and now it's changing. You're reading about, I'm trying to think of Elon Musk and what he's doing with batteries,
Yeah.
right,
Well, think of those old floppy disks, the big 8-inch floppy disks they used to have
Yes.
now, everything, think about that. And it's only 10.
Should listen to Tesla.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. So it's gonna be changing quickly, but this is gonna be the real difference in you managing, in us together managing energy. And we'll really, really be able to optimize.
That's another reason to extend the construction project to 3 years, as opposed to put everything in 3 years later. You gotta change it all out, get something for everyone.
Well, yeah, that's why we push storage out to the end.
Is dry battery? The
Pardon me?
The dry battery?
Well, they have both, they have lithium ion and acid, depends on, when you come down to these, a lot of this has to do with the financial model. There's certain batteries are cheaper than other batteries, what do you need, how much storage do you need, how quickly do you need that storage to come back on, back onto your, back into your network. Those are all facets that have to do with each one of these components that we put in here. That's what, starting back from the beginning again, that's why we're an energy integrator, looking at a problem and creating a solution for that particular problem rather than doing something just like net metering, just for the sake of throwing solar on your roof, So what are we talking about here? We're talking about a limited liability corporation that's between Entico and the Port of Oswego. Okay, a subsidiary, if you will, that is going to be an energy development corporation where we work together on putting this together. It becomes a profit center, separate board members, okay? Don't know the structure yet. That's some of the stuff that Michael, Justin, and we want to discuss over the next 30 days of how to effectuate this. Profit splits over particular amounts. I mean, we're going to make money as well, just like you are. So splits in profits that we do. Where to find off takers? You got a water treatment facility up the block here. That's probably paying a lot of money for energy. There's no reason why some of our excess can't go there and come back to beef up the P&L here. So there's a lot, and there's also additional. I don't know so much with the authority, but certainly with municipal governments, about becoming a municipal utility. Municipal utility allows you to run the lines under streets, through the sky, wherever you wanted to do distribution lines to connect your county. Remember that? To connect your community. Remember that circle I showed you in the beginning with the smart grid? Okay, you need the ability to do some of that by becoming a subsidiary and a municipal utility or a utility. You're able to do things like that without waiting 3 years for National Grid to sign off on something, or paying National Grid 2 cents for every kilowatt that you want to pass across their lines. So we've been working with our partner Harris Beach on how to implement that, and we have opinion letters in place that allow that to happen. And again, Mr. Shanley is going to be a part of that, or is probably a part of that already with some of our folks. Guarantees. Okay, we got to put this stuff in. okay? We gotta pay for it. And I think one of the most important things about this is that this energy grid that you're gonna be putting in is mission critical infrastructure, really. Okay, because the port does not exist without its own infrastructure of electricity. And I think it's real important for you to continue to own this and continue to operate it and continue to be in control of the grid itself. Functions of that corporate structure for operations, you know, to build it, operate it, to develop it into a long-term PPA, probably. It could stay under it could stay under a lease structure and then have a services agreement with it, or it could be turned into a PPA if you want to do that. We're not really sure of where to go yet until we get the rest of the numbers done.
What's the PPA?
I'm sorry, a power purchase agreement. So a power purchase agreement would be that the port itself signs a contract with the LLC to purchase energy for a period of 10 years at these particular rates. So there's a wall between the two at that particular time, if you want that to happen. So that's called a power purchase agreement.
The city of Solvay, in near Syracuse, they generate their own power. They might be a good model.
We talked to those people now.
Yes.
We're talking to the gentleman that was the executive.
John Montone. You know John
John.
See,
Montone?
I know you guys. I know everything about you guys.
John Montone, actually, we have a project that we're working with John Montone, who was the director of Solvay. That's exactly what they did. That's exactly what
It's
they
a small
did.
world.
And they're modeling.
Sorry I brought it up.
Yeah, and they're doing counties. You know, we've got 18 counties now that are interested in this model.
There are other municipalities in upstate New York that make their own power.
But they're kind of the glowing example, I think.
Yeah, Solvay. Yeah, they've made
Oh, they've been
tons
around
and
for a long
tons,
time.
tons of money doing you know things prior to this. You know.
Yeah. Now,
We
with all the
weren't
great-
their partner. We wish we were.
Not all new technology, right?
No, digesters. I'm sorry.
I think the takeaways here are, gentlemen, you know, it's, as you can see, it's very complicated. We've been working on it. It looks like we have some basis to go further. I think we can be a customer. I think the city can be a customer. The city can save some money. Everybody can save some money. And not to sound like a commercial, it looks like we have the grounds for the next phase. I think we're going to distribute a resolution for you tonight that basically says, that authorizes us to proceed, see if we can come to some sort of a agreement and bring it back to you for your approval. One of the things that we want to bring out to you, it is very complicated, it is very revolutionary, it's the latest state of the art. It'd be good to go green, it'll also be good for us financially, it'll be environmentally responsible. And I do want to thank John, I do want to thank, again, the team. It's not easy, we put up many bills, we had many discussions, we had some mornings that weren't so pleasant.
Yeah, that's correct. And I hope I didn't talk too much, Alco, but I'm trying to answer all of the questions that everybody's throwing out.
I doubt there's anyone on the board that thinks you talked to them.
Okay.
It seems to me you've struck a chord.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you. I sincerely appreciate it, and I hope to be seeing you again. Okay?
Yeah. Thanks, gentlemen, and the questions were really great. This was good interaction. Thank you.
I'm gonna get my stuff in back.
Pleasure, guys, thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you very much.
I worked on
John, thank you.
when I was 18.
Hang around.
Someday, there will be a residential.
Sure.
So
Go
you
down
have a
there.
bunch of signs, it's kitchen, stuff.
Go down here.
It's all the Colorado family. It's all that money now. I believe it has. Oh, yeah. Pleasure, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you.
enjoyed the presentation.
We're gonna be sitting outside in the hallway, yeah, so I'll be happy to chat with you.
Nice seeing you again.
Thanks, Patty. Nice to meet you.
Thank you very much, thank you. Thank you.
Tell Justin I have a
Pardon me?
Tell Justin.
Okay,
Thanks for all his help and hopefully.
thank you very much, thank you, thank you, sir, thank you.
We take 5, Terry?
Yes. We're just gonna have a recess for 5 minutes. Okay, we're back in session for a little rest break after our good presentation from our guest. That brings us to item 3 on the agenda, reports. And the first one is this is Exhibit C. The first one is the Executive Director of Administrative Services. Let me make a comment before. Zelko made a comment about Bill's involvement in this. I just want to echo that. I've been aware of what some of the things he's been doing for a while, and this has taken a lot of his time. I have no doubt that we are where we are because of the extraordinary effort he's put into this. And he and Zelko work together on this. And we've got a terrific team here with this project.
And then, as you stated before, for the benefit of the entire board, the roots are right. We still gotta make sure it's the right exposure for us. We got a lot more homework to do. I mean, one of the board members was along the right path. Those are the kind of questions we're gonna be asking. He's looking for guarantees. We gotta be comfortable with those guarantees. We don't wanna guarantee something that puts us in jeopardy. So we gotta be very extremely comfortable with it. But it looks like we can help the city out. It looks like we can help our neighbors out. At 25 cents a fellow, that's substantial. We should be able to do a lot better. But, we have a lot more work ahead of us in the next 30, 60 days. We do have a resolution in front of you, isn't it? Or do we do it now or do it later? I guess later.
It's coming down.
Okay, it'll come down later. And basically what that does, it authorizes us to negotiate, authorizes us to look at a couple of issues, and then whatever we decide, we're gonna bring back to you. But it's a lot more hard work ahead. I mean, it's not all there yet. You notice when you question them and put him in the corner, he was dancing a little bit. He doesn't know, but we gotta know, because we're tying into it, we're buying it. We're a corporation, so it's ours. So I gotta be fairly comfortable before I even bring it to you.
Well, I don't think they can make any promises because they don't know our usage.
Yes, well, they do know our usage, we gave them all our usage. The big unknown right now is the future. He's building all this capacity in. We know we have the load. I don't think prices are gonna go down, I think prices are gonna go up if anything, right? We know our power consumption, if you do our homework right, is gonna go up. All the new route yard that we're installing, all the power requirements that we're installing. If you continue to do our homework right, we feel okay. Don't forget, we're signing on a dotted line for a number of years. We are fairly comfortable with it.
Also, they presented quite a rosy picture. John presented quite a rosy picture of a co-relationship that we would have with them. I'd kind of like to get some background information on other places. This is a strange, a new type of situation. It's like going out and creating new franchises with the entities that they actually, like ourselves and others.
Definitely.
And, would we be restrained as far as the operational situation? Would we have to make sure that they got all of it? Would they charge us on a cost-plus basis?
Those would be all negotiable.
All
I think they would have to be.
They have to be, that's part of it.
all negotiable items. This is where we need an attorney who's an expert in the field. We had one interview, we're going to interview a couple of more. We need an attorney who's been through this before. We need, for lack of a better word, a success case. We also need a failure case to learn.
There's no question that's the best way to go at it.
But nevertheless, look, it's a great step forward. I mean, you've seen some of the bills. We pay a lot of money, right? And if you can cut it down in half and have a decent payback, and I mean decent payback, not 20 or 30 years. That's not a decent payback. 20 or 30 years is frankly useless. and we're left holding the bag, and we're with a contract, that's not executable. A lot more work ahead, but I can tell you, it looks pretty promising, but a lot more work ahead.
Well, what they're talking about is, based on the information he gave us, it means we're gonna double our expenditures for power every approximately 18 years, maybe 19 years.
I would kind of tend to agree with that, given what's going to go on. I think the thing we have to worry about is, one, the cost of equipment, maintenance of equipment. I don't think we include enough money in there for maintenance of equipment. That's what we usually find. We usually lowball it, right? And as the equipment gets older, the solar cells degrade. As the equipment gets older, that big machine of his needs more work. All that's got to be included.
Those are some of the questions I had, is
Yeah.
how long those panels last, how long the generator goes to keep maintenance, all that stuff.
Everything is 100%. Well, it's not. You know, it's not. One of the
Stuff
key-
breaks down.
Of course it does. And those are the kind of things we have to be comfortable with. Those are the type of questions we're going to be asking.
How many hours do you get out of one of those generating units before you gotta?
And they have a number on it.
Overall.
It's an automotive engine. What does automotive engines do? They break down.
They break down?
You know, so those are the type of questions. Let us do our homework. The thing I did want to bring to your attention, we're getting a lot of good things out of it as well. We're getting a new roof out of it, the new section of the roof repaired, so that's a positive thing, right? And we're getting a discounted power, right? It's $50,000 a year. It's $50,000 a month to offset the capital costs. Those are the type of questions we have, and including the maintenance costs. And if you could save the city some money along the way, I think that'd be a good thing. So a lot more work. I mean, your questions are right on target.
It's just a preliminary presentation, I think is what you look at.
Hey, you know, I have to hand it to them. There were some tough times. I mean, we had moments, you know, it's a very delicate situation. We had moments where we couldn't work. And, you know, you know, we had moments where, you know, technology did not make sense. It wasn't an easy, it's not an easy proposition. This equipment that's out there changes constantly.
This does sound extremely enticing to me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this is something.
There's no question that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Question, what's the cost of being enticed?
Let me give you a quick update, and then I have some pictures for you for consideration. It's been a busy month. This is what happens when I send a subscriber to a seminar. He leaves. No.
He's in the room, don't talk about it.
No, aluminum, we had a number of shipments. As the press release basically states, it's been a very positive year, as our financials show it. Purdue update, you also heard some news releases on that as well. It's a record year in terms of crop. It's such a record year that the possibility is to double our throughput. And right now we're scrambling, one, to fix all the systems, one, to find additional storage, three is to get this product out of here.
They even got 64,000 bushels of wheat in here.
Yes, so we have some wheat as well. The big product on the shelf right now is beans. It's the beans. It's been remarkable. New York State has more than double the production needed. The Bucks did not get the message. The beans are out there in full swing. The corn is out there in full swing. And then unfortunately the price has suffered as a result as the supply rose, the demand went down, the low economics. But in the next week or so, this place will be humming with soybeans and corn. So that's very positive. On the marina update, I do want to tell you that we've been working with the fishermen. We've been working with the fishermen very hard. We have made some repairs to the bathrooms. We have made some repairs to the fish cleaning station. We continue to have words with our neighbor, although not positive at times. I did put him on notice that he's on our property. There'll be a follow-up letter to that effect. So he has no use for me. That's okay.
Well, you know that one day he had people not allowing the fishermen to come down in.
That's not an allowed.
He did it. He did it. It was on a Tuesday because I had the day off.
They call the police to make them stop.
Yep.
Really?
That's normal.
He cannot do that, that's a public street, that's our street.
We gotta do something.
Well, we're gonna send them, a note, it's not, it's gonna be a note, I wanna negotiate a solution, I'm not looking for a
Is
fight.
the city gonna join us?
Sure, absolutely.
And then, I'm
Turns out, we've been kind of like waiting for this,
Yeah.
go together.
and let's go together, let's go at it. And basically what it is, I think I shared the one with the commissioner on the table. I get the notice out. The smaller parking lot, half of that small parking lot is on our land. So basically the smaller parking lot that you go up there, that's all ours. Half of it is ours, you'll see it out there, basically in that smaller parking lot. And that turning circle, half of that turning circle is
You know, that would be a perfect place for the outfitters to park their vehicles, so their customers can park down next to the boats.
I'm all for it.
Fence it in, make it for only the outfitters,
I like the idea of fencing it in too.
and
But,
let the outfitters park their vehicles up there, and let the customers of the outfitters park closest to the boat.
and that's, those are the kind of things we're gonna work with. I mean, I would like to find an amicable solution. I'm not looking for a, I'm not looking.
There, I can take that one off my list.
I'm not looking.
The amicable solution.
Right at the bottom there, Terry. We'll-
I do have, I attached a number of press releases, the St. Lawrence Seaway cargo shipment release, and then again, talks, we got the good word out. Everything is up. We have Gina in the back of the room, even he got on board. With the NPR. I do want to, a number of commissioners I ask, and I want to make sure that I give you an update on the Price Chopper property. The Price Chopper property is adjacent to the lumber yard. It's a preliminary discussion. The county is looking to expand the county business center. This year, they're looking for funding to study it. There's no negotiations taking place. But given the property's location, given the property's history, and we can discuss some more things of history, if the results are positive, I think it would behoove us to sell it, to reach some sort of agreement with the county and turn it over. As far as operations are concerned, the location of the property is a little bit out of the way. We cannot use for aluminum shipments. Given what we have going on now with the Oswego Intermodal Center, the paper mill site, we have more than enough property to do our business. I think Treadwell and would probably serve us well to take over that piece of property this time. Nothing has been negotiated. All I said that we would work with them. One of the things I want to show you is I have a little bit of a slideshow. Everybody's doing slideshows. I'm doing a slideshow as well. This is a rail project.
One quick question on that. If that the Price Chopper property does get sold to Treadwell, that'll be part of the Startup New York program too, as an incubator site.
Yeah, we can
With the
talk about
governor,
it.
is
Yeah,
that right?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is our project, a work in progress. I do want to tell you that the chairman did a lot of work here. I don't know, we had a lot of neighborhood interaction. Neighborhood interaction with the residents out there. We took a lot of phone calls. I'm sure the mayor took some phone calls as well. But I think we have calmed things down, and we actually did an interview with some of the news entities here. And let me run through the show. Let me show you what we have been doing up there. I don't think you guys had a chance to go up there, but this is the past. This is what was there, and I think we have to continue to remind folks what was there. That exactly is not a pretty site. Years ago, that's what was left there. A lot of people hung out there that you didn't want to hang out. It's not exactly a pearl to look at. This is the future. This is what we want to look at that area. And if you notice, trains, containers, aluminum, interaction, commerce, jobs. No, right now, it's rather positive for us. And I'll show you some pictures actually
Is
depicting.
that all can depict pavement in black? Is that good?
Yes, I took a liberty of paving it, but it's amazing what you can do in PowerPoint.
It doesn't look like that.
It's the latest type of paving.
The black kind.
Yeah, right.
This is what it looked like in August. Notice the sunsets. Beginning of September, you see the work progressing. You see in mid-September, we cleaned that up. We actually improved it. We're improving drainage, we're actually forming a barrier, protecting the entire side, protecting the park, protecting the environment, making sure nothing leaches out, taking care of some of the trees that are non-native, taking care of safety issues relative to crossings. We have CSX out there working with us in conjunction with our project. We have rehabbed pretty much the entire portion of the rail all the way out to the main line that leads to Fulton. A lot of work has been going on. This is, this was actually a couple of days ago. You can actually see this is the Proud property. We have even worked with that to a certain extent with the local residents.
Will there be
He's
an
got-
access point?
he's got-
I mean,
Technically, and I'll say, and I said on the radio, will there be a formal access point? No, it's our property. Are we going to be chasing people up? No. As long as they behave themselves. We understand the sensitivity, but I do caution the entire board, we have to be really careful of that. It is, given the environment today, given what's going on with terrorism, given the environment, even here in Oswego, I can tell you, I have video of kids playing on rail, I have video of kids doing drugs out here. We can close our eyes so far. It's a working track. We push rail out there. We anticipate up in the peaks, 60 cars a day going through there. If it hits somebody, be rest assured they will know my name.
Okay.
So, have we monitored, I can tell you, I know this crowd actually chased somebody down out there. And, we monitor, as long as they behave themselves, we don't go after. I will tell you as a board, there are some people who don't behave themselves. There are some people who do bad things out there. There are some people who throw things on tracks. There are some people who want to see people hurt out there. There are some people who release brakes on trains out there. These are not exactly I don't think they were all fair, but in the interest of fairness, in the interest of the entire community, we'll work with them. We'll work with them, and there are going to be some access points, I'll tell you in the court. We're not planning to shut them down.
Well, I'll tell you, you're working with them now, because I spent an hour before I came over here today walking the entire site. It looks like a perfectly well-kept construction site. There's not junk around, there's not hazards around.
Looks better than it did.
Yeah.
And it does look better than it did. I mean, I've been on a couple of construction sites in my life, and I thought it looked great.
I tell the entire board, we do monitor, we do videotape out there.
It's 7 o'clock.
Oops, it's 7 o'clock. But, we tell the kids, if you do something bad, don't do it here. That's the worst place in the city to do it. You'll be on.
We're gonna secure the port end of that rail line, or like at night, you got a gate or something shut to?
The port end of it is secured. Yeah, the port is protected, and so will the facility. The facility itself, the intermodal facility has to be secured. The aluminum pieces themselves that you see out of your window, they weigh about 1,600 to 1,700 pounds. Although they're tall, they're not very stable. If the kids do climb on them, they'll come
They'll
down.
fall over.
So I have to protect it. If I don't protect it, all of us liable.
That's what happened with the Novellas.
That's what happened in the valley.
I'm curious, there's the railroad bed's like 2 feet lower than the street by where East 12th crosses.
We're gonna do a lot of.
How are they gonna do that? They're gonna bring the road down?
No, we're gonna do cut and fill. We're gonna be cutting and filling. That rail track that's out there right now, that's not the final grade that you see.
Oh, okay.
we're gonna be raising a lot of that.
It's like 3 feet below the
Yeah,
street.
No, it's not fun, it's a lot.
Canal boats, canal boats.
I just skid my brakes and my bicycle stopped.
That's not the final grade, they're gonna final grade it. My point to you is, look at these pictures. I mean, we have done a lot to improve that site. Look where we've been. I mean, this is what I try to remind the neighbors. That's what you had there.
I lost a kite on top of that. Street road.
It was like this until 1995.
1995, so it's not too long. And I think I mentioned it to the mayor several times. You know, currently, I can tell you that we have the place rented for the next 2 years. It's commerce, jobs. These people will pay the taxes, these people will pay the mortgages. Then they enjoy the sunsets. And again, I know the mayor, I know you're a lot of pressure, and we're under a lot of pressure. We'll not be chasing anybody away. However, they have to be responsible. We will post it, we will post it. I mean, we ordered a whole bunch of signs, I have to post it. I'm violating federal law if I don't post it.
For liability.
Oh, yeah, potential liability.
And something does happen, I'll tell you, I'll have to take action and I will keep you posted. I don't want an accident out there, I don't want to see anybody get hurt out there. If things that the kids do out there get worse, I will get the police involved.
Absolutely.
Lock your gate
Same
and
at,
court.
by Sheldon Beach, so.
Yeah, we find needles, that's what we find. That's what they're into.
And that's the big thing.
Yeah, that's a big thing, shameful. But that's what it is, it's good news. I think it's good news, it's something we should be proud of. Somebody said something to you, I know Board Member Smith was approached. We're doing a lot of good things out there. And then we got Laura Blade from Washington involved. She helped us out with the editorial. She helped us out with NPR. We did a number of pieces. And we heard both sides of the stories. We did the community. I think they have answered the call. I can tell you CSX is happy. If CSX was dealing with this issue, they would not be as complacent as we are. And that's all I have. The attached is actually the production. We've been monitoring it, and I don't want to sound like a bill commercial, but I'll thank the entire staff. The entire management staff has been working really hard. We've been keeping an eye on efficiency, and we've been overseeing it. And I think the financials that you looked at tonight show it. It shows when management cares. The product shows it. You've seen a different tone in labor. Are we there yet? No, we have a long way to go, but we made strides, great strides. That's all I have to
Any
know.
other? Excellent. Any questions? Any further questions?
Purdue continue to be happy? Does Purdue continue to be happy?
We'll discuss that. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But they want, of course, like all customers, they want more.
And as do we.
Yes.
Okay? I have a couple of handouts. There are some other articles that you may not have seen because they just came out. I'm gonna pass these around. These were two short articles that were just published in the Cuba County Business Magazine. And they both have significant relevance to the report. One is called Start It Up. It's written by Pam Caracoli. And it's about the SUNY Oswego interaction with New York State and with the surrounding businesses, including Port. And the second one is called Revved Up, and it's a 4-page article about Novelis becoming a major player in the automotive industry. And both of these articles are well worth reading because they reflect directly upon what we're doing here at the Port. Okay?
Where's our Ford commercial? Where's our Ford commercial?
Yeah,
I did see it. I did see it, and
It's on TV?
No,
Oh.
no, I did see it, they showed me part of it, because I thought, I accused her that it doesn't exist. And then, you know, and then they told me, we did see it, they actually had a number of customers they actually show it in a plant,
Oh, yeah.
plant commercial. So I will go after it, yeah, I did see it, and I have to sign some sort of agreement that I will not publish it, so I'll do that. I want to echo the chairman that I was negligent in one aspect of it. We have been working with the college, specifically President Stanley and Karen Ferracoli, in conjunction with Purdue. We're actually talking about the college being in the position of certifying all the grain, becoming a USDA point, to the point that it can actually grade the grain and certify its content for export. And it's something that's revolutionary. It's something that President Stanley is rather excited over. It's something that would mean a lot to the region. It's something that would mean a lot to the farmers in New York State, the whole agriculture sector. USDA is involved. The school is involved. It will mean wonders for some young students out there, a number of young students out there. It'll mean wonders to Oswego because it'll bring additional industry in. And it'll bring additional people who want their grain graded and so on and so forth. For us, it's definitely a win. I mean, basically what we're talking about is shipping the soybeans to Vietnam, shipping via container, shipping via rail. That's huge. And I'm hoping to at least get Syracuse on the map, and I'll push for Oswego, of course, that's what my bread is buttered. But Syracuse is definitely on the map as a point of entry.
I saw on Channel 9, Rod Wood, I think it was an 11 o'clock news report, on the new 2015 Ford pickup with aluminum. Did you see that? I know Rod pretty well. He's the major guy on Channel 9. Would it be a good idea to maybe get some public relations out of it, to bring him out here and hook up the Ford and hook up Novellis?
Yeah, he didn't mention Novellis.
No, he didn't mention Novellis.
Well, call him up.
And obviously he didn't mention the port.
Let's call him up. We'll do a follow-up.
Be a nice presentation.
Yeah, but definitely.
Would you like me to do it, or do you want to?
You just give me the contact.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'll have him get in touch with you.
Yes, thank you, sir.
I have a third presentation, handout. This is a follow-up to the previous, to our previous meeting, and just an update. You'll recall in our previous meeting, I talked about board member training, the ABO board member training requirements. We've been trying to figure out how to get that taken care of. So this is a follow-up, and I want to share this with you, some additional emails. This starts with number 7, because you saw the first 6 in the last meeting. And I gave you all copies of that. This is a following up story. I told you that I had learned that Scott Fine, an attorney, was apparently the only person that you could contact about getting ABO training if you didn't want to do the webinar program. So I sent Mr. Fine the email that I gave you, that I had sent him before, and that's number 7. And I said, I noted, as he would note, the email sequence inevitably led to him, and so after I sent it to him, he responded. That's on the back pages of the front and back. He responded, number 8, to call him at his cell phone, and we could work out whatever dates we might be able to work out. So number 9 is a follow-up email I sent him, thanking him for his email with. He also called me later that day. We talked to each other, and he said he does several of these a year, and he would be available if we wanted to have him come to Oswego. He didn't know exactly how far away it was, so I told him, email number 9, it was about 3.5 hours, 3 hours or so to drive to Albany, or from Albany to Oswego. And number 10 is, he said he included my wife Martha, but she had nothing to do with it. It's just an email I hosted Martha and Jerry Hamill. So anyway, he was very polite. And he said the training would cost $1,900. Huh? So that's what it would cost us, $1,900 to train here, or do the webinar, which is quite impersonal. Zelko said he thought we ought to do it if people want to do the training by having him come here. So I told him that that I was trying to provide options for the board, and it would be their decision if they want to engage him. I said there would be at least 3 or 4. Mike, you said you just assumed the webinar, but nobody else indicated that, so I'll still.
Of course not.
And I said there might be even some others who would like to really go through it again. And I think there probably would be
We
one.
went through it, and the county guys sponsored the first time we did it, and the second time we did it.
The first time I did it, I went to Rochester.
Yeah, and I went to the second one, I didn't realize it was the same thing all over again. The county had sponsored this. And so they gave us some
But there are 4 members of the board who have not had
Yeah.
that training, and they're aware of it, and it's contingent on them to get that training. We're trying to facilitate this. If you want us to follow up and schedule a date, well, I asked him, and we haven't talked about this, does he have a preference for days of the week, or I don't know what his work schedule is, but he's going to be driving from Albany here. We'd have to schedule a time that would be convenient for everybody. It might be something like an evening, like a Tuesday night, which is usually seems to be the best night of the week for everybody.
How many hours?
It'd be said, I mean, hour and a half, 2 hours. And so I'll call him up. If there isn't any interest in having him come here, then I'm gonna have to just completely turn it over to the 4 people who haven't had the training, and you have to do it yourself. That you have to get online and find the schedule, make the arrangements yourself, because it has to deal with you personally. You also have to have an adequate Wi-Fi hookup so that you can interact. It's that kind of screen that you can talk to. And phone the person, and you have to call them so that they can explain something, or if you have a question. So you have to do that yourself. I just
No,
can't do
bring
it
him
before.
Bring him in.
That's
I make a motion to bring him in.
It doesn't have to be a motion, if it's most convenient, I'll find a good Tuesday, maybe, see if you can come on Tuesday.
It'll be open to everybody, right?
It'll be open to everybody, yeah. Everybody.
Would the cost change depending upon?
No, he just said it'd be $1,900.
For 3, 4, 5 days?
Well, no, I can't answer that. If he's providing some materials, there may be some increase, some slight increase in cost for the material. I don't know that.
I don't remember any material.
Oh, yeah, we got a whole word, yeah, pages and pages, all of that. Huh? So, well, I have already downloaded onto my computer home into a flash drive. I think there are 51 or 52 actual slides. I already got those. So if you need a copy of those slides, I can just email those to you. And you can download them yourself. Or all of you, I think, have flash drive you gave me before. I can put them, we can just put them right back in the same flash drive. Or I could do that. You would just save the flash drive, everything on it. At any rate, I'll tell them that the consensus is that we want to have him come and do it. Okay, I will see if I can find a Tuesday, if Tuesday's amenable to him. If not, I'll have to find out what is his best time and then try to coordinate that. Okay, that's all I need to know.
I am not available between October 24th and November 4th.
Okay. It would be helpful if you guys check your calendars and let me know if there are any problems during the next 4 or 5 Tuesdays.
Yeah, so it would be on a Tuesday?
Well, it seems to me everybody seems to
Yeah,
want to be able to meet on Tuesday for the
Yeah.
meetings and the least conflict.
Yeah.
So let's just see if we can get it here on
Sure.
Tuesday. And we can provide him overnight accommodations. Some of you guys can say.
Don't go.
Yeah, so we go over there.
Plenty of room.
If we gotta take it, he's gotta take it.
Okay, that's all I have for my report, frankly. So, thank you for the information. I'll follow up on that. That brings us to attorney's report. Is there an attorney report?
Nothing for the general session.
All right, nothing for the general session. All right, that gets us to old business. There is none. New business is Exhibit D. This is, I'm gonna ask you to explain Exhibit
Yeah.
D.
Exhibit D, basically, what you have there is right in front of you, you'll see the two bid sheets.
Can you explain what that's for?
Yeah, the bid sheet is the old, yeah, just reading, I guess. There we go. What you see there is the conveyor that's right outside our windows. It's the old conveyor that it's not functional anymore, and we thought it best it be demolished. We're hoping for a net zero bid, where the cost of salvage value will offset. We came close. The lowest bid was at 15,000. I spoke to him since the price of steel has improved. However, his bid was 15,000. So what I would ask for you tonight is to, if you would, award it to United Services GP Inc. at 15,000. With the proviso that I continue to negotiate with him. I am down significantly lower than 15,000.
Not to exceed 15.
Not to exceed 15,000. And then at that point in time, I'll make a determination with consultation with our staff. What we do is remove the old conveyor system. What we'll also do is enhance our operations. So in my mind, it's worth something. It's worth something less than $10,000. If I can do it for less than $10,000, I would jump on it.
So why can't we scrap it?
I would have to use ILA labor to do it. I had some discussions with ILA labor. They're not experts in demolition, right? And then, although they claim they can do it, they are good at demolishing things. But unintentionally, but or intentionally, there are. We're not expert in demolition. I would rather have somebody who has done it before.
Did you check with the junkyard guy down here,
Yes.
Gordon?
Yes.
What did he say? Growl at you and tell you to go?
No, he basically said, I'll buy it, I won't take it down. Go get somebody to take it down. It's gas, it's knowledge. This fellow has the intention of actually hooking onto it, pulling it, he'll be insured. And yes, I spoke to our ILA labor, they claim they can do it, although that's not their business for model. I would just, I'll evaluate it, but I would rather have a professional do it. I would, the liability if something goes wrong would be great. That's what I'm worried about.
Did you contact Raleigh Steel? It's a non-union outfit in Syracuse.
Yeah, I have to be.
RAULLI?
Yeah, I have to be careful about that here. It's, given the environment that we have here, that's what I bring in. But what I did was I publicly advertised it.
Okay.
I went out, I published it in all the publications. It was free for the folks to apply. We contacted a number of them. A lot were interested, only 2 bid. A lot came down, only 2 bid. It's not, you take a look at it. It's not an easy structure to take down. You have to have certain equipment. It's high, it's big, it's still loaded with salt. It's loaded with a big old rubber belt, which I don't know what you're going to do with. So it's loaded with a lot of goodies. It's going to be taken out properly. There was no change. It's a flat sum. Yeah. So what I would ask you is if you would approve an award not to exceed 15,000. I can tell you right now, I will not award 15,000. I was expecting a lot lower than that. I can tell you I had conversations with him. I'm a lot lower than 15,000.
Any other questions? Motion's in order to approve the resolution to secure the services of United Services GP for a fee not to exceed 15,000. To demolish a conveyor system. Right. Mr. Stevenson? Mr. Smith? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
One opposed. Mr. Carroll.
Okay, got it.
All right. It passes. One abstention. Next one. This would be to discuss and authorize Zelka Krimchik to undertake negotiations for a definitive agreement between the Board of Sewer Authority and Pro Entity, who gave us a presentation. Motion's in order, and then we can discuss it. The motion to authorize Zelka to continue on with the negotiations to get an agreement that can come back for your approval.
Second?
Right? Mr. Gill and Mr. Carroll. Is there discussion?
So no fiscal obligations at this time, right?
No, this is just a negotiated. Probably technically, he doesn't have, it doesn't even require a board approval to do a negotiation. As long as the board needs approval.
Once you're spending money, you don't need our approval, right?
Yeah, we can't buy a pig in a poke.
All right, no discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It carries unanimously. And that brings us to executive session. Motion will be in order to go to executive session for the purpose of discussing matters dealing with personnel issues and with property.
Discuss Bill Scriber.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a
Move.
Second round, Mr. Carroll. All in favor of moving into executive session?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous. We are now in executive session. I just had to turn the camera back. Cool. All right, Ken, you want to put the camera on now? It's on?
Lanyard?
Too neat for my own good.
Gentlemen, motion's in order for, Adjournment of the meeting.
So make a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Anybody can have that.
Mr. Coates,
Anybody can have that
Mr.
one.
Smith, was it Mr. Smith?
Perfect.
Oh,
So moved. Coates and Carroll.
Coates and Carroll. Mr.
That sounds like a nice company. Coates and Carroll.
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous? Gentlemen, thank you for an exhilarating meeting. I will see you next month, if not before.